realize I haven't shown this yet. I think I tried to take a vlog, but I was out of room on my cell phone. And it didn't really get posted. So the helianthera that I had to spray, hi Georgie, for those ants, most of the pictures died back, but it just grew in like 5 new pictures. That one in the middle there is still yet to open. And then I still put the flower stock on because it hasn't died back yet. So I don't know what it looks like so you can actually see. So there's the Andromeda on the right side. In the back there's a purple Zeph. And then on the left side is a regular one. Thanks, Warren, for the regular one. So you can, I didn't think it was particularly purple, and I was like, well, this is like when people call orchids purple and they're really pink. But in comparison to the regular one, you can actually tell it's kind of purple. So Drosera madagascariensis, I don't know if you can actually see any in there. They're still small. Years later, I don't know how to make them bigger. This one's Paradoxa, the sundew in the middle. It kind of got stunted. I think it's from when I sprayed that poison around. I think it was spinosad soap. Maybe I need to feed it. And then Prolifera is here. Come on, focus. And then my Ampullaria, which is supposed to be sort of intermediate, but it really did poorly when I didn't have it in the terrarium. So I just stuck it back in, but it's definitely outgrown it here, right? So it got lots of ants. You see the size of that pot for the size of the plant? It's even got roots coming out of the bottom. It's got a little basil rosette. So I felt so bad cutting off all the pictures when I had to move. So I sorely need to repot them. Well, maybe if I put him in a bigger pot, I can give him a smaller pot on the bottom so he'll be elevated less. Maybe I'll think about that in the next couple of weeks now that it rained. It actually poured last night. We finally got one of those thunderstorms. So there's definitely poison ivy in the yard. But luckily there's like a natural antidote that grows right next to it, which is jewelweed. Let me walk you over to it. So I think that there's poison ivy over here. But I'll show you my jewelweed. Apparently you just cut open the jewelweed and rub it wherever the poison ivy touched you. Or just mash it up and rub it on. So all the stuff that has the gray stalks here with the little orange flowers that, where are they? Is that one of them? Yeah. The little orange flowers that sort of look like fishies. I don't see any of them open right now. But all these plants with the white stalks, you just take that and rub it where the poison ivy was and it fixes it. So where's the poison ivy? I'm so bad at finding it. See, and here's the ditch. All the water. There's my sunflowers. Most of them are surviving, but you know, some of them are not. This thing's all wet. That's why I planted some ferns in there, but I still haven't seen them sprout. There's those wild strawberry things that not even the birds eat. Apparently it's not tasty. And some of my nice big thistle. Here's the birds. You're gonna see what I had to do about them ripping up the melons all the time. Hear that nice squishing? So this is poison ivy, I think. Says the internet. So it is all over this corner here. I don't know if I'm gonna chop it down or just leave it, because I mean, I don't really need to plant anything here. And I think this might be like a blackberry or something. Same with this little guy right here. It's popping up all over the place. Same with that. If it's actually blackberries, I'm totally gonna let it grow in, and then that's one less thing that I have to buy. That nice Nice misty field with all the spiders. So here's a bare patch. It's sort of growing in on its own, but so I wanted to dig it up, but after physical therapy on Thursday, yesterday, Friday, my back really hurts. Feels like it's gonna go out. Bending over and lifting things is kind of hard. So I think I'm not digging anything this weekend. And I was watching my previous vlogs, and I know that I said I'd put milkweed in here, and it's like beyond the fence, and I know it's not in yet. And the reason it's not in yet is because it hadn't rained, right? And now it's rained, and maybe I should be back there digging it up. But I shouldn't be, because the seeds that I received, they're not stratified. So they had to go into my fridge for stratification. So I put them in there about, what is it? It's like June 5th or something like that. I got them on the 20th of 18th or 20th of last month, so that would be like May 20th. So about June 20th, those milkweeds and the thistle and the swamp buttercup need to go in. I just saw a nice spider web. Here's a nice dewy spider web. So it would be a little bit premature if I went back there and did that now. So it's not done yet, but I'm working on it as fast as flowers can work on it. Where's my buttercups? So I don't know if the swamp buttercup that I got is the same as these guys, but I already have some nice buttercups and some nice snails in my yard already. So I'm excited to plant some more. Uh-oh, hopefully that doesn't mean that there's a lot of slugs in my garden, but we shall see. Yeah, some more sunflowers over here. So, let's go inside the magical garden. So, step one, we see somebody got mad because I had yet another bull door. You see all those dead plants there? I think it's the birds, because they're the only ones who have access to this. Keep ripping up those melons. So this one doesn't even have its, I don't know how to pronounce it, cotyledons, the baby leaves, because some bird ripped it off. And they also ripped off most of the leaves on that nasturtium there. Look at the one that didn't got ripped up. So I took some of the deer netting and some of the loose bricks around my yard and put them in here, and this is going to stay here for a while. And I also went ahead, so this thing is 25 by 25, went ahead and ordered the thing that came the closest in size to 25 to 25 that I could find on Amazon to throw over the top to keep the birds out for at least a month while these plants grow in, so that they don't get completely ripped up and killed when they're still baby plants. So let's see how much more it rained last night. It's another inch more. So we got 2 inches of rain yesterday. Got myself a rain gauge. It seemed like a good idea. Maybe I should dig that in a little bit better so it doesn't fall over. There we go. So I don't think I showed you guys the bok choy before. So I think the last time that you saw it, I just transplanted it because I was watching those old videos, right? And it was kind of in shock. So it barely looked good. Why are these leaves all chewed up? Hopefully it's not the birds. So, you see that? And I have kind of big hands, so this is even ready to eat here if I feel like it. Maybe I should pick it so the birds don't get it, right? Or maybe let it go to seed to reproduce some more seed. So, this mustard from the spicy greens that I'd planted inside is growing like mad. I actually picked a couple leaves off it the other day because it looked tasty, and it was pretty tasty. I swear those cucumbers getting 2 inches in size overnight, so maybe the rain was good for them. Peas are doing good. I planted some patty pan squash here. Oh, don't tell me the birds ripped it up. Well, I had another patty pan squash come up here. Maybe that's a slug that ate the whole entire thing, because that looks like a trail of bug poop. Well, it was kind of deformed and came up late anyway, so, well, anyway. Patty pan squash with some interesting baby leaves. I don't know why that happens. 2 of them came up like that, but fine. These are leeks. Where is it? There. Those are the spicy greens. These are the honeymoon melons, patty pan squash, tomato of unknown provenance, because I mixed up all the labels because I had so many tomatoes I gave up. Sage, cucumbers. These are snow peas. Don't ask me why I planted so late in the season, but couldn't help myself. Peas are tasty. Cucumbers, the same kind of cucumbers. I think they're dark cucumbers. Sugar snap peas, another tomato, nasturtium, green. I guess it calls itself mini or dwarf pak choy, but in my opinion it's all bok choy. More of the spicy greens. Those, what are they called? Rich Sweetness 132 melons. Oh, another nasturtium. Nice. 3/4 eaten nasturtium. These are chives, bush beans. They're either the purple spotted or the pink spotted ones, because those are either the pink spotted or purple spotted ones. The bulldor melons, tomato, peppers. I'm glad they're still alive. These are poblanos. Butternut squash from Acro on the forums, thanks. And the sugar pie pumpkins. Sage. This one is, let's figure out what this is. Here's another tomato. It is French thyme, which is pretty. Maybe I should eat more of it. I assume this is like calendula or zinnia or something. I just intersperse them everywhere, because apparently the thing to do these days is to put flowers all in your garden, and I like that. And this is also basil, like sweet basil. Corn, like medium-sized pumpkin with some netting on it. Those are zucchinis, those Romanescos. My sad-looking eggplants, because the beetles keep getting them. These are cassava melons from that melon I ate last year. Oh, and look, potatoes. It's definitely the ones that were white, that had sprouts already, that came up first. The one that had the second biggest sprouts was in the middle here. It was kind of that long one. I didn't end up chopping it in half because half of it didn't actually have any eyes on it. I'm getting this guy out of here. This is what we do. Into the grass you go. Look at this. Versus my hand, I swear it gained like 10 inches overnight. Bowl of soapy water. Look at my nice pitcher plants. I think I lost the green miner though. Nothing has still come up in this pot. I'm real sad. I don't know if I want to buy another one. Maybe I'll just get a regular miner. Man, this one has never actually grown for me before, so it really does want to be in the south. A lot of my Venus flytraps are putting up blooms. I'm excited. I'm definitely going to make seeds again this year. Oh, that one might be putting up too. I'm definitely going to be making seeds this year again. I don't know if I'll give them away or plant them or something. Oh, and this is even the Home Depot one that's blooming. I'm excited. The one that had kind of the red line that goes around the edge of the inside of the trap. So I kept it. So I moved this cobra inside once the day that it ended up hitting 100 degrees. Once it hit 96, I went and brought it inside, but I've put it outside for the time being because I definitely need to spray it down with some insecticide before I bring it inside to the rest of the collection, because there are aphids out here and I don't want them inside. Hopefully this pot that looks like it's empty has horseradish sprout in it soon. I might end up putting that mitt from inside in it too, because apparently horseradish gets invasive and mint is definitely invasive, so we'll see. tomatillos, tomatoes. Those are sweet Italian kind of long peppers. Oh, they keep dropping their leaves. I feel so bad. I am not watering these beds till Tuesday. I think it's Saturday. It rained last night, Friday night, so that the peppers have a chance. So I didn't know that peppers want not that much water, so I'm gonna have to figure out. Maybe I'm gonna just water the edges of these beds once it gets to midsummer, so that the peppers barely see any water and everything else gets some. I was reading online that apparently fennel is sort of like walnut, that it puts out something from its roots, that everything else around it sort of dies. But everything around it is kind of doing okay. So, because I read that about sunflowers too, and this bed over here has sunflowers. But oh well. So, that 3-color long-keeping onion, apparently I don't have a lot of it surviving because there was some here and there was some here. You can kind of see that there's dead leaves that didn't re-sprout. So, I don't know. It looks like I at least have 3 or maybe 4 of them surviving, which will be good. So, the fennel's doing good. Here's another sage. This is a little bit more of that zucchini. I don't know why I planted so much, but fine. The more zucchini, the merrier. I don't know what this is. Looks like a flower. It doesn't look like grass. And it might be any of dill, cumin, zinnias, calendula, and it's not nasturtium because I can finally recognize that one. French rosemary. This one's Thai basil. Some more of those eggplants. They look quite bad. Here's where I planted parsley. Some stuff came up. Hopefully it's actually parsley. It came up the day after I re-sowed parsley seeds because nothing had come up yet. Now some of these look like they were dying back and I don't know why. It made me sad because I love parsley. So hopefully some more comes up. Yeah, and one totally died in here. I don't know why little seedlings die like that. Hopefully it's not cutworms. I definitely had one inside. Oh, I got so mad. It took down some of my Canterbury bells. So, here's strawberries. This is another reason that I got that netting for the top, because I don't want to share with the birds. See all these nice runners? So, I'm going to replant some of the cells that died, like the ones on the bottom there. There's another one on the bottom here. So I pinched the strawberries off of kind of the smaller, weaker plants, but the rest of them I'm letting it grow. I think the rain was good for these to bump up their size. I read somewhere that if you put red rocks in, the birds will leave it alone because they'll come over and they'll peck at them and be like, oh, it's just rocks. So hopefully the week that I have to wait for that netting to come is enough for this won't be completely ripe and I'll get to eat it. Hopefully it'll ripen after that netting comes so the birds don't steal it. These are those alpine pineapple strawberries that I planted from seed in March. Look at how big they are. I think this is even its leaf. No, it's its neighbor's leaf. It's still a pretty big plant. I put up tinfoil to scare the birds away. Obviously it didn't work because the melons were still getting attacked. Here's jalapenos. Their leaves turn kind of black in the sun. It's so interesting. And then ground cherries, beets. Most of them got ripped up by, I assume, birds. I also planted cumin here, and I think that's cumin coming up because the cumin that I had started early inside, it just like disappeared. I went to go transplant it, and it just like, you know how a plant just melts away. Here's Spanish sweet onions. These guys, dill, hammy melons, endives, and then it's all lettuces in here. Carrots, watermelons. This is, what are you? You're not cumin. You're marjoram. These are my 3 surviving asparagus. And another nasturtium next to that tomato right there. The ants have been farming this stuff. I tried to get those predatory bugs. The company like messed up the shipping. At least they refunded me, but I had to come out here and spray some poison on all of the little vines to get the aphids and ants off because it was so bad. Hopefully it'll be good now. Maybe I should respray tonight. We'll see. My cell phone's complaining that it's low on battery, so let me quickly just show you the rhubarb. Time to go. So I thought I only had 3 surviving rhubarbs. The 4th one had re-popped up. I'm excited after being disappearing in the ground. Here's that patch of dirt that hopefully is turning into flowers. These are definitely some sort of flower. So the rhubarb had resprouted. So I have at least 4, maybe 5. Look at the size of this guy. I'm so excited. So this one, you can tell that there's a bit of a storage system down there. I'm excited. Here's another one. Here's the one that reappeared. And here's another one that's doing kind of bad because it's a little bit more shaded. And then actually, this might be rhubarb too, because I know I had planted 5. So maybe it's been hiding on me the whole entire time, because it definitely looks like it's rhubarb leaf. Because this plant over here, I thought it was, but it looks more like a flower. But then the one over here, it definitely has a stiffer leaf of rhubarbs. I guess I'll have to keep my eye on it. And this is some sort of nice flower. Okay, enough of the tour. I think I'm gonna go poke around a little bit and check things a little bit harder, but that's that. Okay, bye.